Welcome back to the Zero Weakness podcast, where we talk about how to be a better lifter, how to be a better coach, and everything in between. Make sure you subscribe and enjoy.
Hello, welcome to the Zero Weakness podcast.
Hello.
We're back with another episode.
That's right.
This podcast is sponsored by Establishment Coffee Co. Go to establishmentcoffee.com.au, use the code 025, get 25% off your order and free shipping. How has our week been?
Amazing. So far, so good.
So far, so good. We're backing up off APL States, which we'll get into, but I don't know about you guys. I'm still feeling pretty wrecked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, wait. I want to start this. Over the weekend, there were two big milestones reached. So, I don't know if you guys were completely privy to it. You were definitely with Coops. So, over the weekend, there have been two new bench press records in Australia. So the biggest ever equipped male bench press and the biggest ever equipped female bench press, both done by Zero lifters.
Amazing.
So Andrew Cooper benched 425 kilos. Wrap your mind hole around that. And Sarah Ireland, I believe, benched 200.
And 15.
215?
Yeah.
It was just north of 200 anyway. It's something ridiculous. To clarify, this is in the unlimited division. So the unlimited division is a step up from multiply. It's a slightly different style of shirt. It's a little bit more forgiving and has a bit more bounce to it. It's kind of like a supercharged slingshot. And this isn't trying to take away from the achievements of those lifters. What I'm trying to illustrate is that it's a little bit of a different beast to regular equipped benching, like in a single ply shirt, for example. Regardless, Zero lifters set the all-time bench records in equipped in the unlimited division, both male and female, which I think is massive. And after that happened, it got me thinking, because Zero is where it is. It's kind of been built off the back of coaching powerlifters at a very high level and achieving some big things in powerlifting. And I feel like there are a lot of new lifters that follow this podcast. There are a lot of new lifters at Zero that don't actually know the history of what we've achieved under this banner. And so it's kind of timely, because I've got a pretty cool international coaching opportunity that's come up that I can't really say anything about just yet. But as part of it, I've had to provide a bit of a coaching resume. And every time I'm forced to sort of list out what I've achieved or what Zero has achieved from a coaching standpoint, I'm kind of blown away, mainly by the fact that, this brand, this product, my coaching has provided people with enough faith and trust, these phenomenal athletes with enough faith and trust to use these methods to take their lifting to the next level. And as a result, these lifters, who deserve all the credit, not the coach, have achieved some amazing things. So I just wanted to rattle off some of the amazing things that have happened under the banner of Zero that some people may not know about. If you look at the top 20 list in pretty much all divisions, let's go open, right? If you look at the top 20 list, like the top 20 male squats, the top 20 male bench presses, deadlifts, you'll find at least 30% have been coached by Zero or were coached by Zero to be on that list. And a lot of the times it's much more than that. So for example, biggest raw deadlift ever in Australia, a Zero lifter, Dylan Hellriegel. Biggest raw bench press ever in Australia, Zero lifter, Andrew Cooper. Second biggest raw bench press, Zero lifter, Jason Semler. Fourth biggest, Zero lifter, Ron Kingy. Eighth biggest, Zero lifter, Caleb Voice, who arguably is the best bench presser ever in Australia. Now, that's not to discount Andrew Cooper. Andrew Cooper is an amazing bench presser, and he will become, in my opinion, the best bench presser. He's definitely the strongest bench presser right now. But Caleb Voice is like the Ed Cohen of bench press for Australia. Like, he has the all-time record in like 4 weight classes. And not just by a little bit. Like, these records will not be touched for a long time. Zero has taken more than 60 in both squat and deadlift lifters to 300 kilo plus squats and deadlifts in competition. And that's not like, if I squatted 300 in one comp, 310 in another comp, 320, that doesn't count as 3, that counts as 1. So we've taken over 60 lifters in both squat and deadlift to 300 plus in competition. We've taken over 70 lifters to Pro Raw events. We've had over 20 podiums. I can't count the number of national champions we've had in weight classes, the overall national champions, the number of world champions that we've had in weight classes. I can't count these things. Like the numbers are too big and too broad. I've coached the national PNG powerlifting team, the national Fijian powerlifting team. What I'm trying to get across here is that Zero is not big because of amazing marketing over the years. Zero is big because we had an amazing coaching product, and now we've turned it into amazing marketing. And I guess the reason I wanted to say this is some people may look at a brand like this and not know the history and therefore not appreciate why it's got the name that it does. And why it has the name that it does is because we've been in the trenches for 10 years. Like deep in the trenches, like working with thousands of lifters and crafting this product to be what it is. And in doing so, like, I'm just obviously incredibly proud as to what we collectively under Zero have achieved. And yeah, I just wanted to shine some light on that, especially given Andrew and Sarah doing these amazing lifts over the weekend. I think it's really cool.
Amazing.
Flip, I had no idea we had such a rich resume.
Yeah.
That is insane.
That's
Thomas,
honestly only scratching the surface as well.
I was going to say, I could already think of things you've already missed in there, which
what?
is, I was just thinking, just weight class things as well. Like people like Jen Smith,
Yeah,
who's got number one in everything, squat, bench, deadlift in her weight class. 60s and 56s, I'm pretty sure.
She was number 4 all time in the world.
Yeah.
That may have dropped down since I last checked. She'll be in the top 6 still in the world ever in the 60 kilo class. Jen, in my opinion, is I really don't want to say the most impressive lifter I've ever worked with, but I struggle to think of many more lifters that are more impressive than Jen Smith. Like, she's benched 132, weighing under 60 kilos. That's just phenomenal. She's just an incredible lifter and an amazing person.
Yeah, I was just about to say that too. Whenever people meet Jen, they say the same thing, how nice she is.
Yeah, I just met her for the first time on the weekend. She's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cool when you have like such incredible lifters that are just down to earth and cool like that. But like the amount of incredible, it's almost unfair to just list off one. Like the amount of incredible lifters that have flown the flag of Zero at some point is just crazy. Like looking through the list when I was going through open powerlifting and looking at the top 10 or the top 20, the top 50, there are a lot of names on all of these lists that I have coached at some point in their career. Like I may not have coached them to whatever their top numbers are now, but I've coached at some point in their career, and it's quite, I don't know, it's pretty. It brings up emotions, to thinking that these phenomenal athletes saw value in the product that we offer, and were willing to put. It's a big thing when you're an incredible athlete to say. Because you're an asset. You're like, I am an asset. I'm a weapon, and I want you to tell me what to do. Like there's a lot of weight that goes on the shoulders of the coach in that sense, because essentially a good coach is going to take an athlete like that and be the fall guy. Like the way that I look at it is, yeah, of course, the athlete has to execute. They have to do the work at the end of the day. I'm just telling them what to do, but I feel like. If they are unable to execute, that I haven't done my job at some point. And so it's crazy. I mean, you guys haven't coached enough comps to feel this. Maybe you have, I don't know. But when you're standing there on the side and someone's going for a lift, I feel like I'm going for that lift. I feel like if there is a failure there, that failure was on me. I didn't pick the right number. I didn't give them the right advice. The training wasn't on, and that's just stupid to think like that because it's not the reality. The reality is they have to execute. There can be imperfection that leads to failure. There can be, bumps along the road, all of that sort of stuff. It might just be a thing, they just miss it. But I really wear my lifters' failures as my own failures. But I believe that's what's forged this product and forged my coaching to be what it is today.
100%. One thing that, especially on comp day, that gives me the most anxiety about anything is my temp selection for all my lifters. You know what I mean? Because I like to get people to open relatively light, and lots of people don't like that. They want to put a big number on the board straight away. But, it's all about trying to talk them out of that, talk them off the ledge in the sense that you don't need to open big. No one fucking remembers what you opened on. Like we're trying to build the biggest total we can, and if we need to open light, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, CJ, you're going to compete in a few weeks. The question is always going to be like, do you plan on going to that competition and failing any lifts? Is that part of your plan?
No, of course.
Of course not. So really, you're only doing 3 lifts.
Yeah.
You're not doing 9. You're only doing 3. You're doing your third attempts.
Yeah.
So who the fuck cares about your opener and your second? Yeah, sure, there's stepping stones on the way to the third and blah, blah, blah. But really, the opener and the second are just about setting you up to achieve your third. And well-executed competition attempt selection has that at the forefront of your mind. It is going to affect what your openers and seconds are going to be, especially if there's competition on the line, because you're going to maybe build a backup total in your seconds. A backup plan as to like, okay, I'm going to do this on my second so that if I fail my third, then I can do this with my bench or this with my deadlift to make up for that failure. You do have to think like that when you've got tight competition, but that doesn't happen too often. Most of the time, and regardless of that, at the end of the day, you're still just going in there to build the biggest total. And the biggest total is going to be made up of 3 third attempts. So you've only got 3 attempts.
I've got a good example of this from the weekend. He's not my client, but I handled him. Eric Rodgick.
Yeah.
So he was pretty gassed after. He's actually coached by Jamie Smith, Melbourne Strength Culture, but he was pretty gassed after his squats. And he failed his last warm-up in the bench room. And I said, hey, I think we should drop this significantly. So we dropped his bench opener by 22.5 kilos. Mm-hmm. And like, that's pretty hard to comprehend as a lifter that, you're about to do your opener. You failed in the warm-up room already. But, dropping it by 22.5 kilos set him up to go 3 from 3 on bench and then 3 from 3 on deadlifts and have the biggest... Did he have the biggest deadlift of the day?
Was he on day 1 or 2?
He was day 2.
I think he did, yeah.
There was another guy that pulled 300. I don't know if anyone pulled...
Jordan? Jordan did 2.
Oh, yeah.
And then Jordan went for 3.
Yeah, but he missed his third attempt. But there was another guy that pulled 300 as well.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, what I'm just trying to get at is that it set him up to have,
a great day.
Yeah.
So what did he fail in the warm-ups?
140.
And what did he bench on the platform?
He opened at 1... He was meant to open at 150 and he opened at 127.5.
Yeah, but what did he end up on?
137.5.
Okay. Yeah, good call. I mean, you're failing 140 and you didn't even surpass that on the platform. It's a really hard call to make as a coach because emotionally what you're like, well, especially like it doesn't apply to you. You made the right call, from an external perspective and you prevented him from bombing for sure. As a coach, if you knew that lifter and let's say this was your lifter and you'd seen them bench 150 clean in training, you're like, maybe that failed warm-up attempt was actually just, it was just a misgroove or whatever you want to call it. He just screwed it up. He didn't bring enough heat to it, whatever. And you're like, oh, we'll just go 145. And then he bombs on 145. Like, you can't do that. If you have any doubt in your mind about this person's ability to perform on their opener, fucking drop it. It's always way better to have a small opener, get it, and then go with the flow. They're feeling good again, bump it back up. They're feeling shit, keep the numbers low, then just be like, oh, no, it should be okay, and then bomb. Worst feeling in the world. For the lifter and for the coach. I feel like we're like swinging straight into the recap anyway, so we may as well just keep talking about states, right?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, well, I'll start. So APL states, we ran on the weekends, Queensland states. We ended up with just shy of 120. There were 120 lifters registered. We had a couple of people last minute pull out or no show, which happens at every comp really. But it was pretty much 120 lifters. So 4 flights a day, split into 2 sessions, a morning and an afternoon session. It was a big weekend.
It was awesome.
But like far and away the best competition I've ever run at the gym. And I've only ever run one, maybe 2. One competition external to the gym, and that's a little bit different. It was a nationals, it was a big show, and I had a lot of help. In terms of course, I had a lot of help here, but in terms of what we achieved in the gym, like that competition was miles ahead of any other comp we've run. Like in terms of quality, layout, how it felt in there, like just... So what we did differently, normally we have all the equipment in the gym, we just push it out to the side. This time we got a forklift and all the boys and girls helped and we moved everything next door and shifted the gym around. There was way more open space and it just felt so much less congested, and that congestion as a result decreased the stress for everyone majorly. Just crazy how having a little bit more space made it so much calmer for all the lifters.
It's funny because that was our... Oh, sorry to interrupt.
No, not at all.
That was that was our best comp that we've ever run. And I'm already looking at things we can do better for our next comp.
Like what?
Like one thing someone mentioned to me was with the live stream, with the names on the board, the white lights, because lots of people said they didn't know if people made lifts and whatnot. Yeah. So it's going to be something we can do next time.
Yeah, I mean, really, we threw CJ into the bus and we're just
big time.
Hey, you got 3 days, make us a live stream.
Yeah.
So
do this, brother.
It was really just a point and shoot live stream. Like we didn't really have the time to build something properly, but that's definitely on the cards for our future big meets for sure. The sound system was way better. The TV up above the platform was way nicer. The platform in general looked cleaner. I've now got a wireless lighting system, so hopefully we have that rigged up by the next big one as well, which will get rid of some of the it just looks messy having wires everywhere. We've got our proper competition toaster racks coming that'll make the platform way nicer because we'll get the weight trees out of the way. It's so cool, like the evolution of these competitions. As each competition gets better, like the big rocks are so much better, the organization, the flow of the comp, the speed of the spotters and loaders, all that stuff that most comps suck at. Now that we've nailed all that, we can focus on the little things to just make the comps fucking next level, which is really cool. Our helpers were amazing. Like all you guys, like Bridget refed most of the weekend after coaching. James jumped into every job at some stage. CJ ran the live stream and did a bunch of the, helping us out on the music and everything. The spotter loaders fucking killed it.
They were incredible.
Ryan Anderson.
And Ryan and Nick. And Ryan and Nick were there before me every day. Like I rocked up and they would already be here. They were here all day, every day. The amount of comments we got from lifters being like, the spotters are so helpful. They tell me, they reassure me. They remind me of the calls. They line me up. Like the spotters caught that dumped squat of like 180 or whatever it was.
195. Yeah.
195.
Yeah.
Lala's so strong.
Yeah, very strong. But yeah, like everybody, it's cool to see how serious they will take it as well. So Ryan takes his job as a spotter. He really ensures the lifters feel safe out there. He talks to his team. He even pulled me up. I put the pin on the wrong side. He goes, no, pin on the other side. I'm like, fuck, sorry, mate. Forgot you work here, brother. Little things like that. It was just cool to see how, like you said, everybody gets in the trenches. Everybody helps out. And it just made me also, it's a really cup-filling weekend, seeing everybody come together for Zero. Like, they don't have to fucking be here, but they all wanted to be here. They all love this team. They love this community. So that's what I fucking loved about it.
It's pretty crazy. Like when I used to run comps at the first gym in Narang, the competition would finish and everyone would just leave. And I mean, there was poor leadership by me in that regard. I'd come back to the gym the next day, like on the Monday, and the comp was just set up and I'd just do the whole thing myself, like move all the plates, and it would take me the whole day. Like I'd after I'd finished working, I'd come maybe 3 hours early and I'd be rearranging the gym for basically the whole day because I moved around the whole gym by myself. Now we took out more equipment all together than I had at the first gym and moved it all next door, then moved it all back in like 20 minutes.
We went out to dinner afterwards. Like we just didn't do fucking 2 12-hour days in a row.
Yeah, it was just a well-oiled machine. I'm curious to hear from you, CJ. Like, what was your experience of the comp as an outsider? Because not an outsider, but like I was deep in refereeing most of the time, or training up the refs. Bridget and James were coaching and reffing most of the time. You had a bit running the live stream. You had a bit more of an opportunity to sit there and watch. How did it compare for you to previous competitions that you've been to?
You don't notice it when you're in the moment, but afterwards, coming out of that comp, I reflect on it and I see nothing went wrong. It was just such a smooth day, and knowing how many moving parts there were, it's the biggest comp over 2 days, so many lifters, and there was no real hiccups. Everything just went really smoothly. For me, my job was just making sure that I did get my job done, and I just stayed out of everyone's way. And whenever there was an extra hand needed, I'd just jump in. But honestly, everyone was just so aware of their role and executed their role to the best. And everyone came together and just wanted to see, I guess, that weekend have a win. And it really was. Yeah.
Yeah, the only two hiccups I can think of. There were two misloads. Both of them we caught. Like that they weren't actually, they didn't complete the lift. We stopped it before the lifter came out. But it was the same guy both times. It was like his squat and then maybe one of his benches or his deadlift later on. It was just unfortunate. The two times that we had to be like, oh no, wait, there's a misload, was the same person. What are the odds of that? Bridget, what was your experience of the weekend?
Incredible. I got to experience powerlifting from a different perspective over the weekend. I got to handle the beautiful little Paris.
Yes.
And it was so much fun. It's probably like my favorite experience in powerlifting so far. And Paris was amazing. She went out and she broke the APL junior 16, 17-year-old deadlift record with a massive 123.5 kilos in the under 56 category. And I get emotional thinking about it now. I cried. It was amazing. And it was so great to share that experience with her.
It was a sick grind.
Yeah, it was awesome.
She loves a third attempt grind, eh?
Yeah.
That was a fourth.
Oh, that was a fourth?
Yeah, she went for
Well,
a record.
She loves a fourth attempt grind.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she's done a fourth at every comp.
I remember her first fourth attempt at 90 kilos when she was 13 years old at the old gym.
Yeah.
And that, every grind, it's always like a 10-second deadlift.
Yeah.
I love it. It's so good.
Yeah. So what else did Paris do? What did she squat and bench press?
She got her opener on squat at 80, then she did 87.5. We went for 92, but she couldn't quite get there. And she got her bench opener at 40 and couldn't get her second and third at 42. But that's all good. She had an amazing day, and that was all that mattered to me, was that she was happy and her family was happy. So
yeah. And what was your experience overall as a coach? What are kind of the standout moments besides her deadlift?
As a coach, like on the whole weekend, or just coaching Paris?
Oh, who else did you look after?
Oh, I didn't look after anyone else. I just meant maybe reffing.
No. Yeah, like as a coach, and then what was your experience of reffing too?
Reffing was awesome. I love reffing. I'm learning a lot, but when it comes to the coaching, it was just great to be sort of back there in the warm-up room with her and helping her pick her second and third attempts, and just really getting to know her better as well, because we see each other a little bit in the gym and I've helped her out, but now I feel like we have this like amazing bond, and we've been chatting a lot more, which is great, and I can't wait to do it again. I think I like coaching powerlifting even more than competing.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's cool that she's got like a strong, positive female role model in the gym now as well, because she's always had fucking goobers like me and James.
She's always got me yelling down her throat.
Yeah. Trying to, don't worry about that AFL rubbish. Lift some. That was me for 5 years. AFL, your future's powerlifting.
You can make a lot of money in powerlifting, Paris.
There's no stardom in AFL. Forget that. Who needs to run?
Yeah, that's right.
So what was the highlight of refereeing, or what was your experience of refereeing? Like, was it what you expected? I know you've dabbled in it a little bit before, but being thrown under the bus a little bit more. What sort of stands out? It
was always intimidating right at the beginning to get thrown into like a different position. So like head reffing for bench is always very intimidating, but I was surprised at how quickly I just got into it and got used to the role and started focusing, and I actually love it.
Yeah, no, you did an amazing job of it.
Thank you.
You killed it. I think the thing that stands out to me always with new refs is just like the stuff you miss because you don't get a handle of how quickly things happen, and it's just gone.
Yeah.
And you just left there sitting there being like, did they hit depth or did they not? I'm really not sure. And that's where a lot of refs become bad refs, because they sit there and mull over it. And if you have to mull over it, it's benefit of the doubt for the lifter. They should get a white light.
Yeah.
You should know confidently it was high or it was good.
Yeah.
It's so easy to sit there and stew, because you don't even get 1 second to see what you saw. It's just like a split second, and you have to take the snapshot and decide, was it good, was it bad? And that's just one thing. Like if that's just squat depth, you're also thinking, did they hit their calls? Did they get double bounce? Did they get downward movement? Did they move their feet? Did they stumble back? There's all these other things that you're looking for. I think it's so easy to look at a video and be like, that wasn't competition standard, because you've replayed it 600 times. And get that. You don't get to do that in a comp.
No, not at all.
What about you, James? How was the weekend for you?
Yeah, the weekend was mad. Comps don't really. I've done so many of them with you that they don't really. I don't really get nervous about them now. We kind of just like they run smoothly from my experience with you. I kind of just slot in wherever I can. If you need me to ref, I ref. If you need me to MC, I'll jump on the mic. I just kind of float around and do everything at comps. But this comp was the first comp I've handled and coached that many people.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like a massive experience for me. Like normally I'm more hands-on with like MCing or refereeing or spotting and loading, but I did a lot less of that at this comp.
How many people over the 2 days?
I think I had, so on the first day I had 3 and on the second day I had 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 5 or 6.
Yep.
So yeah, so that's the most people I've ever coached and handled at competition. And yeah, it was fucking awesome. Everybody did really well. Like I mentioned earlier, like just, you know, helping them with their game day nerves and, you know, just trying to let them know they've done the work and they deserve to be there. Yeah, it's fun. I don't know where I'm really going with this, but I remember saying on a previous podcast, the last competition where I coached Bridget, Alexis, and Amy, that was the one that got me back into powerlifting, like personally, because I got so much fulfillment out of coaching them and seeing all their success. That's the one that got me back into powerlifting training myself. So I walked away from this comp really, really fucking fired up, watching all my guys and girls kill it. Like Jordan Castles totaled 812.
Yeah, that was huge.
yeah.
What was his previous PB total? Do you know?
800.
Yep.
Yeah, so he squatted 310, bench 210, 307. It's around 812, but he did lift at 392.
Yeah, it was a 307 squat.
Yeah.
210, and then the 290 whatever.
Yes. So he had an awesome day.
Very quick turnaround on the prep as well. You guys didn't have a lot of time.
Nah, so he came to me with like 9 weeks or 8 weeks, and he goes, "Bro, I want to do this comp." And I was like, "Okay, sweet. All you've done is shoulder press for the last 3 months with 60 kilo dumbbells, but let's try our best." Yeah, people like Jacob Purser, handled him on the day, called all his attempts. Yes. He's a weapon, that bloke. He's
no fear.
I was saying to Thomas and Bridget and CJ, I reckon he's got like the biggest nuts in here. He's not afraid of anything. I wouldn't do this, but if I said we're going to go 350 on your third attempt, he'd go, "Yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it."
Yeah, let's have a crack.
Yeah. So he squatted 290 for the first time, so that was a huge PB. He PB'd his deadlift with 252.5. All good?
Yeah.
And this is how confident he is. He missed his second on deadlifts. He missed his second attempt 235 because he wobbled at the top, and I still went up to 252.5 for his third.
Yeah, should we talk about that third attempt?
Yeah. Hey, he got 2 whites. That's all that matters.
Jacob, if you're listening,
Kung Fu Jakey.
Yeah. If there was a space on the board, I wouldn't put it on there. I probably would.
You 1,000% would.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's on open powerlifting, it counts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, come on.
But who else? Who else did I have that? David Wilcock. I've loved this bloke. The 61-year-old.
His walkouts were good.
They were
Yeah,
great.
bro, what I said, David, if you're listening, I said to this, why did you fucking decide to learn how to walk out on the day?
On comp day.
He's had massive trouble with his walkout for the last 2 months.
His 200 was like a 3-step walkout. It was like bam, bam, bam. Whoo.
Yeah, so he just pulled it together on the day. He went 7 from 9. But he didn't miss any lifts because of strength. There were just some technical issues. Like
I've never seen someone get so upset about passing a lift.
Yeah.
on a couple of lifts, he got 2 whites, 1 red, and he was so sad about it. Like, you got the lift. It's okay.
Yeah, and he so he's a weapon. He had an awesome day. Like I said, went 7 from 9. One of the bench presses is one of those guys that you got to tell him everything. Like, set your shoulders back and down. Use your legs. I said use your legs. Make sure you keep driving your heels down. Use your leg drive. And he forgot to put his ass back down on the bench.
No, he just kept it up the whole time.
Yeah.
I was side reffing it.
I said to him, "What did you do that for?" And he goes, "Mate, I forgot." I was like, "Yeah, all right, whatever. We'll move on." But he did a great job. Who else did I have? Becky Hill. She did an amazing job.
Becky's
She went.
awesome.
Yeah, she's a legend, and she loves it. So she went 7 from 9. Who else was there? Andre Chicato. One of the new kids here. He's a legend, and he's a very self-sufficient lifter.
He is.
He's one of those guys. He comes to me for a program. He goes, "James, I need a program. What should I do today?" You do this. He goes, "Okay." Walks off. Comp day. These are your attempt selections. Okay. Walks off. Like, he's just just trains hard.
He had a good day, and then he showed up to the gym on Monday and Tuesday as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he
I'm like, you're keen on Monday. He's like, what do you mean?
yeah.
I'm like, you're back at the gym. He's like, you want to train? I'm like, oh, okay.
He went to work after the comp as well.
Yeah, what an animal.
Yeah.
He's a good kid. I really like that guy.
Like, not even you guys went to work after the comp.
I haven't stopped, brother.
Nah,
The grind don't stop.
That's it. Nah, Bridget bailed on us this time.
It's funny because me and Khan, we just send each other videos all the time whenever we're at work, and we always send each other with a message saying, nah, you rest, bro. You go home. I'll look after it. And that's all we send each other 24/7.
It's good to know that you guys are making valuable use of company time and resources and money.
You go home, brother. I'll look after it.
All right, Thomas's grievance of the week. Nah, the competition was awesome. Can I don't know why I'm making this podcast about me, but can I tell you guys what my comp PBs are in terms of coaching?
Oh, yeah, sweet. I was like, wait, where are we going with this? Can I tell you how strong I am?
No, because you said you coached 7 people?
Yeah.
So I feel like this is a bit of a wank, but I just, again, like representing what kind of things that we've done in Zero. My comp PB for coaching people at one comp is 57.
What?
Fuck.
Yeah, 57 people at one comp. This is a multiple day comp, like not one day. My PB for people in a flight is 8, and I wrap 7 of them.
Ugh.
That was a nasty one.
Wow.
My PB for knees wrapped at a comp is 167, as in 160 pairs, 67 pairs of knees. The same people, 3 attempts and warm-ups and stuff. I don't know why I counted it, but I counted it.
It's a good flex, though.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm flexing so hard today. It's a bit out of... Anyway, let's move on. Next thing.
On that note, I think I had a knee wrap PB on Monday because my arms are still sore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
I felt bad.
Oh, man. I felt... that's all good.
Yeah.
No rest for the wicked, baby.
No,
right.
it's an imagined realities thing. That's not. There is a reality to it. But, it's one of these things where coaches are like, I definitely can't wrap knees because then it cooks my arms. It's like, if you believe that, you'll always look for it. And it does happen a little bit. But if you don't believe that it's going to happen, there's a lot less chance that it does happen, or it affects you a little bit less. Because I've coached at every single comp that I've ever done. The only comp in recent times that I can think of that I've done and not wrapped knees at, no, I did wrap knees at that comp. I can't remember the last time. Every comp that I've done, every comp that I've won, all the comp PBs that I've gotten have been at comps where I've wrapped knees, often of people in the same flight as well. You just do it.
Just get it done.
That's wild.
You're wild.
Yeah.
How good.
Yeah. Well,
Etc.
yeah. Well,
Have you seen the movie Split?
Yes.
No.
Hedwig?
Yeah.
Etc. That's what I'm going to think of every time you say etc. in a message now. Etc.
I'm just so that people know, whenever I send Thomas an email, whenever I feel like sending a half-ass email, I don't actually finish the sentence. I just put etc. on the end, hoping he knows what I'm going to say. And it's worked for 3 years, so yeah.
But now that I've picked up on it, I do it every time as well. I blame John Gabriel because he does it in every message he ever sends. So thanks, John.
All right. Well, let's keep talking about ourselves. How have we been doing, training wise? I mean, we've backed off that huge weekend, and now
Next question.
Yeah.
yeah, it has been kind of rough. Not gonna lie.
Right, Bridget, you're up.
Well, normally when I come in squat day,
I failed a squat. It's been the hardest week because I coached all weekend and I failed a squat, and it's just really hard.
I
Sorry.
don't talk like that. I don't sound like that at all.
What is happening?
I do. Sorry.
But yeah, I did. I failed my squats, but I'm only disappointed because I always come in on Monday morning and squat when nobody's here, and I'm like, oh, I can come in the afternoon when everyone's squatting and failed in front of everybody, but I don't really care.
You didn't fail. You learnt a lesson.
This is true.
No, I mean, like, after you did, there was a bunch of us in the corner like, what the fuck is going on? Like, she failed? What a loser.
Imagine being disappointed after hitting a PB
I know.
as well.
It's always the bitter irony.
Yeah. She just hit a PB set of 5 and then was gutted.
4.
She missed her 4 after she missed her second set.
Yeah, that sucks.
After a huge weekend.
Imagine being so strong. That sucks.
Well, it's all about managing your expectations. right,
Oh,
James?
yes, it is. It is.
I mean, after all, the weight is just an arbitrary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's correct.
that's right.
Resistance, something.
Oh, you're learning, Thomas.
But no, bench felt great today. Bench is feeling the best it's ever felt.
That's like your
Yeah.
PB, 50, and you're doing it for sets of 4.
55, and I'm doing 50 sets of 4. So
crazy.
yeah, 3 sets of 4.
Nice.
Insane. Yeah, I'm very happy.
Nice.
Very
Now you
happy.
just got to not fail your deadlifts.
I know. I won't.
No.
No.
I mean,
No chance.
there is a chance that you might, like, statistically speaking.
Statistically, there's always a chance. Wow.
I don't know why I'm such a dick today. Sorry,
I was like, what
sorry,
is this
people.
movement?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're gonna sit down with him after.
This is what happens when you have crackers at 1:24 instead of 2 o'clock.
Wait,
What
what's
about
going
you,
on?
Jimmy?
Me?
Your training.
I don't really want to talk about it, man.
No.
Nah, yeah, of course I do. I squatted 200 for 4 in sleeves on Monday.
Yeah, how's your back?
Broken, but
Back is broken.
I'm still here to tell the tale.
Final.
So that was a huge PB. I actually went back. I've only ever done 190 for doubles.
Fuck, that's huge.
Yeah. So I've never squatted 200 in sleeves.
And you did it for 4s.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I did that for 4s. A set of 4 on Monday. The last time I did 190 in sleeves was 2018 for a double.
Yeah, sick.
So that was huge. Yeah, that's all I got to say about my training at the moment. My back's fucking lit up at the moment, so I'm just trying to manage that. But yeah, no, training's good. I love it.
Yeah. Carl James.
Yeah. Training's good for me. Everything's like a PB now. I'm peaking for the novice comp. Yeah, it's starting to set in that I'm competing, so that's pretty. Yeah, it's very scary. I'm actually starting to really feel the nerves. It's getting to me. Just like what you guys were talking about earlier about how you feel nervous coaching someone on the day, and you feel like you're the one lifting out there, and you feel that like it's so funny you say that because I feel the exact same in the opposite, where I'm competing and I just think I can't let these guys down because all the time they've given me, invested into me, encouraged me for 12, 15, 20 weeks leading up to this moment.
Yeah, I mean,
like you really, really built and you standing there on the platform and they say you should do this number, and I'm like, I can't. Like it really gets to you.
Me and CJ have this argument every week.
No, well, I think it's valid because, in my opinion, if you don't hit those numbers, you're off the team. It's, like, it's black and white, bro. Simple as that.
Go find a new team to join, brother.
Yeah,
yeah.
Find a new podcast.
Whoa.
Whoa, that's where you draw the line.
Hold the phone. I'm just kidding around, man.
But
Yeah.
no, I understand that. But the pressure's on. Like you've done all the work, all your team. That's why when people talk about it being a individual sport, to me it's not at all. Like I can't fucking come in here and squat 200 for 4 on my own. I need Ryan there. I need Tom Hardy there. I need Bridget there. I need CJ screaming down my throat. I need Tombo there. I need fucking.
I just got chucked in at the end. Just as, I better throw him in.
Better chuck the boss in. But you know what I mean? It's like, I can't do that on my own. I don't want to do that on my own. I want the pressure. I want my friends watching me. I don't want to let them down. I want to fucking share the moment with them. Like, I'm just going to, this is a little bit off topic, but I've already fucking visualized what's going to happen when I squat 300. Like, everyone's going to be there. Tom's going to give me a hug. He'll give me my annual hug that he gives me.
That's right. I listened to our podcast when you were talking about, I know it meant a lot to Thomas because he gave me a hug.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. No, I'm not going to say that. Anyway.
But you know what I mean? So like little things like that. Tom Bro will give me a hug. I'll probably fucking start crying.
I'll probably cry.
I figured it out. I'm going to walk off like Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that straight after I do my 300. So people are going to think I'm a dick, but in my head I'm like, nah, I've been waiting for this moment.
You just can't, sorry to throw you under the bus, man, but you can't do a Josiah, which is where you put so much planning into how you're going to celebrate that you focus more on that than the lift, and then you fail the lift.
Oh, well, I've been there. I've done that. I've done that.
You timed out.
Yeah, I timed out. I've been down this road before. Yeah, maybe I should change my game plan. But that's how it is at the moment. You got to apply the pressure. Diamonds are made under pressure, baby.
Yeah. That's funny you say that. I've thought about the day I'll deadlift 300 and what I do. It's not as flashy as that. I'd probably just start crying on the bar.
Yeah.
Honestly, I put the bar down, I look up and see the lights, and then probably just start bawling in front of everyone.
Time's ticking, man. It's only like 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
The day's coming, baby.
I don't think 300's in line for that comp, but one day. One day. Yeah.
On that, Thomas, have you ever cried after a lift?
Although there was a bit of a gap there. It's like, have you ever cried? Are you a human? I've cried after a lift once.
Yeah.
Once, yeah. 2013 Nationals, I squatted 250. And so what had happened is at 2012 Nationals, when I was doing my open a second session, like testing session before the comp, I still trained at a commercial gym. The dumbbell rack was right next to the squat rack, and I walked out 220, and as I was squatting, someone walked into the bar and it twisted, and I tore my adductor. It was the first injury that I'd ever had. And so I didn't know what an injury was. Like, as in, I knew what an injury was, obviously, but I didn't know what a muscle tear was. So I felt it tear, and then it really hurt. And I'm like, this kind of isn't right. And I just stretched the shit out of it nonstop. And which is a really bad thing to do if you tear a muscle. So I still competed. I competed on the torn adductor, and that was fine. But that was kind of the start of my hip issues. And so in that year as well, unknowns to me, I tore my labrum in the left hip, and so I had this ongoing issue with my leg and my hip from that comp. So it had been a year till the next comp, and I thought I'd overcome that issue. So I cried out of happiness, thinking my hip issues are finally over.
Yeah.
Q 10 more years of hip issues, multiple surgeries later, still going.
They're over.
Little baby Thomas didn't realize it was just the beginning.
I was just thinking, I was like, far from over, brother.
Yeah, I was overwhelmed. That's the only time I've ever cried about lifting. Yeah.
What about you, comp, APL States? Well, have we touched on that?
Yeah,
We've done everyone else.
I spoke about it more generally. In terms of my own training, at the moment I've got a torn adductor tendon, so a partial thickness tear in my adductor tendon, which just means I can't squat or deadlift with full range. I can't squat to depth, and I can't deadlift from the floor. So I'm still in full prep mode for Pro Raw. Whether or not that competition actually happens, I don't know. If it does happen, I was really going for a podium spot. And I think I was capable of doing it. If it does happen now, I'm not 100% sure as to what I'll be capable of. But I've been in worse situations injury-wise, closer to competition, and still done all right. So it's just a matter of time. We'll see what happens. Training otherwise is good, though. Feel good. Just hurts in squats and deads. Everything else is great.
How do you do that going into a comp, knowing that you're like carrying injuries, and how do you prepare yourself mentally? Is it just managing expectations? Like,
yeah, you know what actually really helps a lot is being a fucking idiot. So because I've got that down pat, it doesn't matter.
what does that mean?
No.
We were talking about this the other day, me and you.
About me being an idiot?
No, about how when we're injured, it's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I think a big part of it, is experience. I've been in this situation before, and I know that injury doesn't affect my mind. It's literally just a physical thing. So as soon as I can get past the physical aspect, I'm not scared. I don't really carry that inherent fear that comes with getting injured. I mean, we spoke about it on one of the first podcasts we did in this format. So I won't go too deep into that. The other big thing, and this is relevant for people to hear, when we were doing the short format podcast, I did one on peaking. Go back and listen to that because I go in detail into this. But when you're peaking, you're not getting any bigger and you're not getting any stronger. You're literally just practicing. So even though I'm not at peaking phase yet, I'm in the what I call a transition phase, which is where you transition from strength into peaking. And there's a little bit of strength work that gets done here, but not heaps. Like, most of the foundation is laid in far earlier training. So really, as long as I don't detrain between now and the competition, I should be able to hit PBs. So it's just me relying on the theory of it, and I can do that because I've done it in practice. I've been injured worse, closer to comp, and still PB'd. At the last Pro Raw I did, I tore my adductor, like a proper tear in the actual muscle belly, maybe 5 weeks out, and still competed and hit a 25 kilo squat PB. So
Yeah.
yeah, it just comes down to practice to a large degree. And I mean, this sounds ridiculous because everyone thinks that I'm injured all the time. I'm really not injured all the time. Where I get hurt is closer to competition, my hips, because my left hip is so much more dysfunctional than my right. If you look at my legs, my right leg is significantly bigger because they don't move the same as they used to. And so the distribution of load carries far heavier into the right side than the left. And as a result, when I go heavier, my body just doesn't like the load. That's my theory anyway, which is why I tend to tear that adductor. Well, I've torn it once. This is the second time. I just feel like I load into that right hip a bit more because the left hip has really, really degraded since the last surgery. It's gone pretty horribly backwards. That's why I'm pulling out a raw lifting. I can't do it anymore. My left hip is I'm just going to keep getting injured like this if I try and push the boundaries. So I really wanted to have one last big raw comp and then call it quits and just go equipped. Does that answer the question?
Yeah. For me, I think the hard thing is like, even though you're getting over physically, I guess with you, it doesn't affect you mentally. Whereas, I guess a lot of athletes in sports where they might have done an ACL or something like that, and they don't know if they can step off that leg as hard as they could before, or, it's in the back of their mind, even though physically they've done the rehab, surgery is good, but they just don't trust the limb or the joint as much as they used to.
There's so many factors at play there, though. Like, what are you doing this for? Like, what is your why when it comes to you lifting weights or you doing whatever sport that you're doing? And depending on what your why is or what's tied up in your reason why is going to greatly impact your mentality around being held back. So, like, if you compare, someone doing a hobby sport like powerlifting to someone like Alex Glenn, at the very top level, if he might have the same athletic mentality, which is like, I get injured, I can't perform, I'm letting down my team. That athletic mentality is there. But also that what stews in the back of minds of people like that is like, this is their livelihood. This is their identity. This is like, everything's tied up to this one particular thing. Whereas powerlifting, there's no professional powerlifters. So it literally is a hobby sport. And so it's easier to digest and understand, or digest and rationalize not being able to do the thing, because life doesn't actually rely on it that much. And I think in my early phases of lifting, I tied my identity into powerlifting from a business perspective a lot more. That is, my business grew because I used to be a good powerlifter, believe it or not. Like, I used to be at the top and win competitions and be really good and be recognized as one of the best lifters. And now I don't need that anymore. So while my athletic mindset hasn't changed in the sense that I always want to do the best I can, I want to push my body as far as it can go when I'm in a competition, like going into pro roll, I want to win. I said I wanted a podium spot. If I'm being completely honest, I want the number one podium spot. I'm a competitor for sure. But if I don't get that, it doesn't actually mean that much to me. Like, if I don't get there and I don't do it, maybe I'll be a little bit sad that I didn't get the opportunity to. But it's just kind of like, well, that opportunity's been and gone. Life goes on. I got bigger things at play. I got gyms to run. I got staff to manage. I've got life to do. I've got a dog that takes up 95% of my time. I've got other stuff going. So anyway.
Yeah. No, that answers it. How
good?
Should we do your grievance?
Yeah, I guess.
We haven't done it for 2 weeks.
Have we?
No, well,
we didn't do one with.
No,
Oh, yeah, we
so
had-
you guys would have seen Liz Clay's episode last week, which was,
that
awesome. But I
Comes
don't-
out tomorrow.
that you guys won't see this until
Yeah, my bad.
yeah.
I don't like this podcast episode. I feel like it's all about me, and I really don't like that. But
Welcome back to the Tom Bro Potty.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but you never talk about yourself. So fucking let him have it, brother.
Yeah, you know what? My grievance of the week. Okay, this relates to the competition. So, James is aware. Bridget and CJ maybe not so much. But at competitions, people bring their food. They tend to leave their food in the fridge. And sometimes people bring good food, and sometimes people bring bad food, and they forget it. They leave it in the fridge. And my philosophy is, if it's in my fridge, it belongs to me. So, a little nibble here, a little snack there. No one left any good food.
It was all shit.
Someone left like some pale ass, like overcooked, rotten chicken breast.
Is that still in there?
Yeah, I was gonna give some to Buddy. He probably won't eat it. That's nothing worse. If you're a competitor listening to this, yeah, we've done episodes on Comp Day nutrition. It's like eat what's familiar and eat carbohydrates and salt. No, fuck that. Bring nice food and leave it for the meat director after you live.
Meat director.
Yeah, make a whole lasagna. Make it from scratch.
Yes.
I want you to roast the tomatoes with garlic. I want you to blend up that sauce. I want you to use the fanciest mince you can find. I want you to hand make the pasta. I want you to milk the cow to get the cheese. Like, I want the best. No more of this dry ass pasta with mince with no sauce. What the fuck is that?
This you're right though. This is hands down the worst. Usually I come in here on Monday, you know, rubbing my hands together. Oh, wonder what's for lunch today. And then fuck what I come in pineapple lumps. I want some fucking.
They weren't even good pineapple lumps. They're like stale and
pineapple lumps. Fucking plain boiled chicken. Where's the fucking? Oh, I was disappointed too.
I shouldn't admit this, but like 80% of the Tupperware that I have, or plasticware that I have, is from Comps. I don't know the last time I bought a plastic tub, but I've got hundreds of them at home.
Can just speaking on eating food in the fridge. So I like my food really spicy, and I fucking so I spice that shit up. You know, I use bird's eye chilies. I add some chili powder. I do all that jazz, and Thomas, I don't know where I was, but he decided to have a wee nibble of it, and it fucking almost took his soul.
Yeah, send me to another dimension. Yeah, I have some of Bridget's coffee most mornings. She gets honey in it, and I like honey in coffee, but I don't go crazy about it. Brandon Kempter, if you're listening to this, man, you got to step up your cooking game. Like, stealing your food back in the day was just always disappointing. There's other names of people who have left food here, but I won't throw them under the bus. Some people are good cooks.
Well, the other day, Meg Kimura, she went to give me a jelly that she had in the fridge. And she goes, yeah, all good. I've got 4 of them. She went to the fridge. There was only 2 of them. So someone's fucking helped themselves to 2 of them.
I'm not a jelly guy, so I can promise you that I didn't take the jelly. Yeah, and my strategy is that I'll take enough that you don't notice it's gone. So it's normally like take a little dig and then smooth over the hole, move some stuff around. And the reason I do that is because if you ever did that to my food, I'd know about it. Like, I know where I put the container. When it moves, I get upset because I get paranoid that someone's taken some of my food.
Someone's ruined Tom Bro's macros.
That's right.
All right. Do we have any client shout-outs?
No, let's just, because we're running out of time, let's just roll into the questions at the end. Because
Right.
I feel like we shouted out a bunch of clients doing the APL recap.
Okay. Let's start with a funny one. Anaru asks, how do you feel about clients going off program?
Ooh.
Are there any clients on program at the moment?
Context dependent. If they're not following the program because they think they can do it better than themselves, that pisses me off because, you know, they come to you for guidance and support. You've laid out the perfect blueprint for them to succeed. And then all of a sudden, because they don't like what they're doing, they're like, oh, nah, let me just do my own thing. That's when that pisses me off because, all right, well, yeah, sweet. Why'd you ask me for a program? Why'd you come to me for coaching? You're wasting your money and you're not going to do a better job of it yourself. That pissed me off.
Yeah. That's fair. That'd annoy me.
I've got a 2-strike rule. Coaching, especially for the last 3 or 4 years, I'm in the fortunate position to the point where the people that I coach or the people that want to get coached by me want to be the best athlete that they can be, and they're normally willing to just yield. They're just normally willing to just be like, yeah, I'm going to do everything that you tell me. I'm not going to stray from this. And if they do stray, it's very minor kind of thing. But if someone does stray, it's normally like, okay, this is the reason why this is a bad idea. This is the reason why you shouldn't do it. Or if they say, hey, I want to do this. Can I do this? And I'm like, well, I'd really prefer that you didn't. I don't do like hard, you can do this, you can't do this, because you're a fucking adult. You can decide what you're going to do. I tell you why it's going to be a good or a bad idea. If you mess up once and you break that and you do it, fair enough. If you do it again, next time I'm just not going to say anything. Like, eventually you have to learn for yourself, like, oh, this is what Thomas kept going on about. I probably shouldn't do this thing anymore. That's just me though. But again, like I've afforded the position of not having to be too worried about clients doing rogue stuff because they've already put their faith and their trust in me, and they're spending a significant sum of money for my guidance, and so they tend to stick to the process.
And no one in the gym goes rogue anyway.
Nah.
No.
Jacob Purser.
Never.
James Hendry.
Hey? That was 1 week, man.
Monkey see, monkey do.
On that, I'm sorry, guys. Thomas brought it to my attention earlier that I don't want to be known as Max Out Henny. That was 1 week.
One deload week.
Yeah, that was easy. Didn't have to say it's a deload week. So where am I going with this?
You know, the irony is, if you guys scroll back far enough in my Instagram, I remember the comp as well. It's 2015 GPC Worlds in Las Vegas. In my deload week for that competition, like in my final deload before that comp, I put it on a multiply suit, and squatted like in the mid 300s, and I put on a deadlift suit and deadlifted in the mid 300s because I thought, the suit will help, therefore it's a deload.
I know what I'm doing next deload.
No. 2015 Thomas is nothing you want to be like.
I used to, whenever Thomas, I've mentioned this before, but whenever Thomas used to go away, we used to all just max out. It was the best. 2018.
Yeah, it was a while ago. It was a different
2022.
time. Yeah. What about you, Bridget? How do you feel about people that you coach that might be going off program?
If they discuss it with me first and we both come to an agreement, that's fine. But if they don't want to take my advice, then, yeah, like Thomas said, they're an adult. Yeah. They can make their own decisions.
What about you? What about when clients are like, no, I'm going to cut my own hair.
Yeah, the clippers. You
Go off the haircut
Please,
program.
yeah, pay me just to use the clippers. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm not guilty of that at all. I want to ask you guys, what's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
If you can't control a situation, the one thing you can control is how you react to that situation.
Oh.
That's just in life in general,
Yeah.
not to do with lifting or anything. Yeah. If there's something that's upsetting you, you don't necessarily have to be upset about it. You know, that's what you can control. Your emotions.
You might need to send that to me.
Absolutely.
Best piece of advice I've ever been given. Come back to me. You go, Thomas.
I've got a few, but I'm going to go with this one because it's the one that first came to my head, so I'm just going to chuck it out there. Which is the idea of like, forget the idea of don't bite off more than you can chew. Bite off as much as you can and learn to chew like crazy.
That's a good
I love that.
Yeah. I don't believe in. It's the irony is I teach this, right? I teach like as one person you've got a limited capacity, and I do believe that. But I feel like I haven't found my capacity. I feel like I can keep saying yes to things, and I can get more efficient and better at working. And I feel like I operate a lot better if I have 10,000 things to do than if I've got one thing to do.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah. Oh, flip. I got a few, and I by no means am good at any of these.
Pick one. Best one.
I think a quote that I read the other day that really hit me was, if you avoid failure, you also avoid success.
True.
And I guess it kind of goes along the lines of what you said is with not being too scared to bite off more than you can chew. A big thing that I always try to hammer to myself is like, and I'm not very good at this, but to not wait for a green light, but just keep opening doors until one closes instead of just waiting for doors to open. And not be so complacent and just back yourself.
Nice. Mine would actually be, don't be afraid to have those hard conversations. After you have a hard conversation or a tough conversation that you've been wanting to have with someone, it may not be the best outcome, but you always feel better and you've done the right thing by having that conversation. Yeah. That's probably not the best piece of advice I've ever been given, but that's all I've got right now.
Good advice.
Yeah.
Something that not many people do.
Mm.
Requires a lot of honesty. It requires a lot of courage. It requires a lot of honesty in yourself. And we are conditioned to not do it because we don't talk to each other anymore. We send text messages and emails and stuff. We very rarely have to confront anyone face to face or have those hard conversations face to face. And it's something I've always admired you for, because you've been good at that since the day I've known you.
Mm. Sometimes when I do them as well, I can't help it, but I'll start shaking a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I'm a very, Thomas knows, I'm a very fiery person. My my initial reaction, I'm getting better at it, is to be angry, to get fired up. So I'm getting better at it, but like I still shake a little bit. I still have a little bit of a tremor in my voice when I have those conversations. But like Thomas said, you just gotta have them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
I think if more people can like understand that, they're better at receiving those hard conversations.
Mhm.
I think, I've had a lot of hard conversations said to me, and being someone that has also had to be on that end, giving like a hard conversation to someone, there's a lot of anxiety that goes into that conversation, a lot of thought, a lot of, wondering how they're going to react, and worst case scenarios that go through your head. So I'm always very appreciative when someone has that, conversation with me, because I know how much thought has to go into it, and the fact that you care enough to have that, because you wouldn't care, like you wouldn't if you didn't care.
Can we finish on something a little bit more lighthearted,
Yeah.
please?
Jeez. Okay. Most embarrassing gym moment by Tez.
Oh, that's the homie. That's one of my best friends. Most embarrassing gym moment for me and Maddie, bro. It was the first time I ever deadlifted 220. It was the first time I ever screamed in the gym too. And it was just us. Oh no, it was us two and a few other people here. I was like, bro, can you give me some ammonia? I'm going to fucking scream for this one. And he's like, oh yeah, sweet, bro. And I took a whiff of the ammonia. And because I didn't actually need to scream. I just wanted to. So I like screamed and like cracked a high. And I was like, ah! It was the worst scream ever. And all I see
blowout.
And all I see on the camera back, because Matty Bro was behind me, as soon as I did, all you see is Matty like try to look to the side and try to hide his laughter. And I couldn't even do the lift. I started laughing myself. I was like, nah, fuck that. That's never doing that again.
Fuck.
Damn.
CJ, yours.
I'm embarrassed about it now. I've mentioned it before, me chalking up my shins. That's very embarrassing. Yeah.
Bridget, what's yours?
I don't know. I don't have many. There was one moment at my first comp. Actually, I don't know if you remember this. They hadn't done the call for the platform's ready call yet. And I went to walk out, and you put your hand out, and I thought you were going to give me a high five, and I was like, yeah. And I grabbed your hand and went to walk out on the platform. You're like, no, I'm telling you to wait. And I was like, oh, in front of everyone. That's probably it.
Normally, people like that just grab you by the belt, and it's like a cartoon. You're like trying to walk, and I'm just holding the belt.
Oh, actually, in the weekend, Eric goes to me. He goes like this. And I was like, fuck, you must want me to slap him in the face. So I slapped him like 3 times in the face. And he goes, no, my headphones. I was like, oh, shit. So, really? Yeah, so then I took his headphones. I'm like, fuck, sorry, bro.
He would have loved it.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, my bad.
Oh, man. I can't really think of one particular embarrassing moment. I feel like my powerlifting career between 2012 and the end of 13 is just an entire embarrassment. Like... This is where because I opened the gym and I sort of adopted a bit more of a powerlifting mindset. I was always a powerlifter before that, but I was in a commercial gym and I couldn't really I couldn't explore different personalities within powerlifting or within myself about powerlifting. So between 2012 and the start of 2014, I went through the ammonia phase. I used to strap up to the deadlift bar when I was using straps and get someone to slap me in the face. I used to get hardcore back slaps. I used to scream and carry on before lifts. If you ever see my 2013 States videos, it's 2014 States videos. That would have been the end of it. Yeah, it was. 2014 States 2013 States. Sorry. Because at that competition, I was so embarrassed watching the videos back. I'm like, I can never be that guy again. I fucking screamed before my first squat. Like, I got under the bar. I'm like, ah! And then after my deadlift, I won the comp. After my deadlift, I dropped to the ground and I threw my fists on the ground. I pounded the ground. Me and Stenzel call it the GPS, the ground pound of shame. And I never took a whiff of ammonia. I never got a back slap. I very rarely make any noise before I lift, maybe a little bit of grunt since that day, ever. Because I'm like, I just look like a fucking idiot. Never again.
I love seeing people get hyped up.
Yeah, like,
I think it's great.
Oh,
I love the different
Part of
types of G up.
So
just hearing you name all those things, I'm just like,
I can't picture it.
guilty. Guilty.
yeah, I mean, like, no comment. I accept it more when it's like the group, like all you guys around Jacob or all you guys around Eric, or even when you're squatting, you know, you get a bunch of people around you. I accept it when it's like that. But picture this, it was just me. You know, you ever go to a comp and there's just that one guy kind of pacing around, getting ready to lift and like grabbing their headphones, just fucking slapping themselves in the face. If I ever see myself on a video doing that again, I'll walk out the gym and I'll never come
but did
back.
it help?
No.
Oh.
That's what I mean. I stopped doing it and I got better as a lifter. Well, you waste so much energy screaming and carrying on and getting hyped up. It does help, especially when you're inexperienced. No offense. It does help a lot because it helps you channel focus and find adrenaline and aggression. Once you can learn to turn it on without all that external stimulus, you turn it on way harder and you don't waste so much energy. Because that's what I found. I found like to turn it on, I'd have to like pace around and sniff ammonia and get psyched up for like 2 minutes. So by the time I got to the bar, I was just fucked. I was just gassed. Anyway. I'll show you guys one day a video of me screaming.
I can't believe that there is that exists.
Well, you're going to love it because back then I used to cut my own hair. So not only in my screaming, I look like an idiot as well.
Yeah, wow. Jeez.
All right, that's us.
That's us.
We're over now. Let's call it there.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Give us 5 stars on Spotify. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Hit the bell so you know every time we post a new video. And yeah.
Hit the bell.
See you guys later.
Bye.
Peace.
Love it. See ya.
Thank you so much for listening to the Zero podcast. If you want more information, head to our Instagram, Zero_weakness. Hit the link in the bio for all of our services and any information on upcoming workshops and events. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review so we can have a broader reach and answer more people's questions. Thank you once more.